History is often painted with broad strokes, the same familiar narratives repeated in textbooks, documentaries, and classrooms. Ancient Egypt, Rome, Mesopotamia. These are the civilizations we know, the ones we have records of. But what if that picture is incomplete, even misleading? What if the history we've been taught, the history we hold as absolute, is missing something critical? What if an ancient catastrophe, far beyond anything we could imagine, wiped out entire civilizations long before we ever put pen to paper? The idea of forgotten worlds, lost to time and catastrophe, has always haunted humanity. In the corners of every civilization's mythology, there are whispers of great floods, devastating fires, and cataclysms that reshaped the very fabric of the world. But why do these stories persist? From the Bible's great flood to the myth of Atlantis. Could there be a kernel of truth hidden in these ancient tales? Truth that suggests entire cultures disappeared in an instant, leaving only ruins, mysteries, and unanswered questions behind. What if everything you've been told about the past is a lie, a carefully constructed narrative to conceal the truth? What if history as we know it is a mere shadow of what once was? The idea that a hidden catastrophe could have erased an entire civilization is as terrifying as it is fascinating. Imagine a world so advanced, so complex, that it rivaled or even surpassed our own. Now, imagine that world swallowed whole by a force of nature so powerful it left nothing behind but whispers in the wind. We know so little about the depths of our own past. Yet, every so often, a discovery forces us to reconsider what we thought we knew. Is it possible that civilizations far more advanced than we give credit for once walked the earth, only to be swept away by an event we can barely comprehend? Could they have left behind clues, secret markers, or hidden traces of their existence, deliberately erased or buried by the forces that shaped the world? Or were they merely lost, like so many of the ruins and artifacts that lie forgotten under the sands and oceans? The allure of forbidden knowledge is powerful. It tempts us to seek out the truth, even when we fear what it might reveal. For centuries, archaeologists, historians, and explorers have dug into the earth, seeking what's been lost. Some have claimed to uncover pieces of this hidden history, ruins, artifacts, even ancient texts that hint at civilizations that should not have existed according to our current understanding of the past. But are these discoveries genuine? Or are they the result of wishful thinking, misinterpretation, or deliberate concealment? It's a question that lingers in the air, unspoken but ever present. What are we missing? What is out there, just beyond our reach, waiting to be uncovered? As the mystery deepens, we find ourselves at a crossroads. If a catastrophe did wipe out a great civilization, where is the evidence? What remains for us to uncover, and how much of it has been erased, intentionally or not? These questions will take us deep into the heart of the past, where strange discoveries have already begun to turn the tide of our understanding. The search for the hidden pieces of history often feels like a chase through a labyrinth, where each turn brings more questions than answers. With every new discovery, we are forced to ask, could this be a piece of the puzzle that has been deliberately obscured, or is it just another artifact lost in time, misinterpreted, or misunderstood? One of the most remarkable examples of such a discovery is Göbekli Tepe, a site buried in the remote hills of Turkey. Older than Stonehenge and the Great Pyramids of Giza, Göbekli Tepe is a sprawling complex of stone pillars, some weighing as much as 10 tons. The carvings on these stones are intricate, depicting animals, abstract symbols, and shapes that seem to defy simple explanation. How could such a site exist? What were its creators trying to tell us? Mainstream archaeology suggests that Göbekli Tepe was built around 10,000 years ago, a time when human civilization was still in its infancy. Yet, the complexity of the site challenges this idea. How could a hunter-gatherer society, with no known written language or advanced tools, construct something so sophisticated? What were they trying to communicate? And why did they abandon the site so abruptly? Was this complex structure the last remnants of a civilization that was wiped out in some forgotten cataclysm? Equally puzzling is the Piri-Reis map, a world map drawn in the 16th century that depicts parts of the Americas with remarkable accuracy. But there's something even more striking. The map shows the coastline of Antarctica before it was covered by ice. How could a map from the 1500s, long before modern navigation, have such precise details of a continent that was supposedly unknown to the world at the time? What did the cartographer know, and how could they have accessed such information? It's a mystery that raises more questions than answers and suggests that knowledge of the Earth was far more advanced in ancient times than we are often led to believe. Then, there's the underwater city of Dwarka, off the coast of India. According to ancient texts, Dwarka was the legendary kingdom of Lord Krishna, a city said to have been swallowed by the sea after a great battle. For centuries, the story was dismissed as myth, a colorful tale of gods and heroes. But when underwater archaeologists discovered the remnants of ancient structures beneath the waves, the myth began to take on a new weight. These ruins, composed of massive stone blocks, appeared to have been purposefully constructed, yet they lay submerged thousands of years ago in waters that should not have been as deep at the time. Could the submergence of Dwarka be tied to a cataclysmic event, perhaps a shift in the Earth's crust or the rising of sea levels after a global flood? And if Dwarka existed, what else might be hidden beneath the oceans, waiting to be discovered? These sites, Göbekli Tepe, the Piri-Reis map, and Dwarka, all raise troubling questions about the mainstream narrative of history. Why are ancient artifacts and cities still being discovered that don't fit with the history we know? How can we explain these anomalies, which seem to hint at something much older and more advanced than what we're taught? It's as if we are brushing up against the edges of a vast, hidden history, one that has been obscured, forgotten, or intentionally erased. It's not just the discoveries themselves, but the questions they raise that are so unsettling. What else have we missed? What other ruins, maps, or artifacts are lying in wait, yet to be uncovered? And how much of this hidden history has been buried under centuries of misinformation, misinterpretation, or deliberate concealment? As we explore these clues, the pieces begin to fall into place. There is something larger at work here, something that challenges everything we thought we knew about our past. But what was the cause of these civilizations' destruction? What was the great event that wiped them from the face of the earth? We're left with one last, haunting question. Are we truly ready to uncover the full story of what came before us? Or is the answer buried so deep that it may never see the light of day? From here, the search for answers takes us into even deeper waters. What catastrophic events could have caused these civilizations to vanish so suddenly, and what might they have known that we have yet to uncover? These questions are only the beginning. The true mysteries of our hidden history are waiting just beyond our grasp. The Earth we know today is not the same planet it was millions of years ago. Over the eons, our world has undergone violent transformations, global cataclysms that have reshaped the land, wiped out species, and, perhaps, eradicated entire civilizations. These events, sometimes so powerful they leave no trace, have the potential to disappear entire chapters of history, rewriting the story of humanity in ways we can hardly imagine. Imagine a world where cities are erased in an instant, mountains crumble, and oceans rise. What if our entire history is marked by such catastrophic events, hidden in the shadows of time? The Earth itself, ancient and volatile, has experienced cycles of destruction, massive resets in which entire civilizations vanished, leaving only faint whispers in the winds of myth and legend. Could it be that these resets are not just fanciful tales but the remnants of forgotten history? What if the Earth itself has experienced cycles of mass destruction, wiping entire civilizations off the map, only to start over again? The mechanisms behind these cataclysmic events are not beyond imagination. Earth has been pummeled by asteroid impacts, massive earthquakes, supervolcanic eruptions, and floods of unimaginable scale, each one capable of changing the course of life itself. Could these events have been the causes of lost civilizations, erasing them from history and leaving only shadows of their existence? Take, for example, the impact of a massive asteroid. These space-borne threats have caused some of the most devastating extinctions in the planet's history. The asteroid that struck the Earth around 66 million years ago is believed to have triggered the mass extinction of the dinosaurs, a cataclysmic event that altered the course of life on this planet forever. What if a similar impact, thousands of years ago, wiped out a highly advanced civilization, one we are only beginning to imagine? Then there are supervolcanic eruptions, ancient bursts of unimaginable force that blanket the Earth in ash, block out the sun, and change climates overnight. The eruption of Mount Toba, which occurred roughly 74,000 years ago, released an amount of energy that could have caused a global cooling event. The eruption left a lasting scar on the planet, with evidence of dramatic climate shifts. Could a similar eruption have wiped out an ancient civilization, one whose knowledge was lost in the fires and ash? Even more terrifying are the floods. Water is one of the most destructive forces on Earth. Rising seas, tsunamis, and massive river floods have swept across the landscape, claiming cities and erasing cultures. The flood stories of ancient civilizations, the Great Flood in the Bible, the Deluge in the Epic of Gilgamesh, are often dismissed as mere myth. But what if these stories were memories of real, ancient events? Could the Earth have experienced a cataclysmic rise in sea levels, sweeping entire civilizations off the map and leaving nothing but a memory in our collective unconscious? These events weren't isolated. Geologists tell us that Earth has undergone reset moments, periods in which massive environmental catastrophes reshaped life on the planet. These global resets are not confined to any one region or time period. Instead, they are cyclical events, recurring throughout Earth's history, wiping out existing ecosystems, cultures, and species, only for life to slowly rebuild and restart. The idea of these global resets introduces a chilling thought. Perhaps these are not just ancient events, but cyclical patterns in Earth's history. Every few millennia, the planet may undergo a transformative event that resets the course of civilization, leaving those who survived to rebuild from the ashes. Could we be on the brink of such a reset ourselves? Could these cataclysms be part of an endless cycle, an unspoken force of nature that humanity may have been fated to endure? As we explore the devastation of Earth's ancient wounds, we must ask ourselves, if entire civilizations were wiped out by such cataclysms, what is left behind? What remains to tell their story? And why does it seem that we've only just begun to uncover the evidence of their existence? Amid the rubble of ancient destruction, where civilizations once stood, there are remnants hidden, traces of lives once lived, cities built, and cultures that might have been far more advanced than we are taught to believe. Who were the people behind these lost civilizations? What did they know? And why did they disappear without a trace? The stories of these lost civilizations have been buried by time, and in some cases, deliberately erased. Yet, hints of their existence are woven into the fabric of our myths, legends, and even the architecture of ancient sites. Civilizations like Atlantis, Lemuria, and the pre-dynastic Egyptians may have been far more advanced than we are led to believe. Take Atlantis, for example. Descriptions of this mysterious island have floated through history for thousands of years. First mentioned by Plato, the great philosopher. According to his accounts, Atlantis was a powerful and advanced civilization, with knowledge and technology that seemed almost magical. But then, in a single day and night, the island disappeared beneath the waves, lost to a cataclysmic event that wiped it from existence. For centuries, Atlantis has been dismissed as myth, a fable too grand to be true. But what if it was not a myth at all? What if Atlantis was a real civilization, one that existed long before the Greeks, and its sudden destruction was the result of a global catastrophe, erasing it from history forever. Then there is the ancient civilization of Lemuria, a lost landmass said to have once existed in the Pacific Ocean. Like Atlantis, Lemuria is surrounded by mystery, and its very existence is debated by many. But certain cultures in the Pacific, as well as ancient texts, speak of a time when a great civilization flourished on this now lost land. The people of Lemuria are said to have possessed advanced knowledge in science, spirituality, and even energy manipulation. Could these civilizations, so advanced in their time, have been wiped out by one of the cataclysmic events we've discussed earlier? Could their disappearance have been the result of rising sea levels, a massive flood, or even the submergence of their landmass? The ancient Egyptians offer yet another fascinating mystery. While the Egyptian civilization that we know today is one of the oldest and most celebrated in human history, what we know about their true origins is surprisingly limited. The pre-dynastic Egyptians, for example, left behind complex structures and artwork that suggest a far more advanced society than what we typically associate with the time. Did the Egyptians inherit this knowledge from a previous, lost civilization? Could there have been a time when they were part of a much larger, global culture that spanned the earth only to be destroyed by a cataclysm? As we consider these ancient civilizations, one thing becomes clear. Their disappearance is not merely a matter of historical curiosity. It is a key to understanding the vast depths of our shared human history. The evidence of their existence is scattered throughout the earth, hidden beneath the sea, buried under layers of dirt, or concealed in the ancient myths that survive to this day. And while mainstream historians may dismiss these stories, the question remains: what did these civilizations know? What secrets did they uncover? And why were they lost in the first place? Perhaps the truth is simpler than we think. These civilizations were destroyed by the same forces of nature that have shaped our world for millennia. A global catastrophe, one that erased not only the lives of millions but also the knowledge they had accumulated. Yet, despite their sudden disappearance, these civilizations left behind traces, hints of their existence, clues to their wisdom, and perhaps even warnings for us. The legends of Atlantis, Lemuria, and the pre-dynastic Egyptians hold more than just the echoes of lost cultures. They hold the key to understanding a much larger story, one in which humanity has faced cataclysmic resets before, only to rise from the ashes each time. But why does this history remain hidden? What are we missing? And how much more is there to uncover about these lost worlds? As we look at these civilizations, we find ourselves confronted by more questions than answers. Were these civilizations truly advanced, as their myths suggest? Or is there more to their story than we can even begin to understand? Perhaps, in time, we will find the answers to these questions, and when we do, we may come to realize that the mysteries of the past are far darker and more complex than we ever imagined. As we journey further into this hidden history, we must ask, what caused these civilizations to vanish, and what lessons can we learn from their disappearance? What if the answers lie buried beneath the surface, waiting for us to uncover them? There is a question that lingers beneath the surface of every historical narrative, a shadowy thread that runs through time and threatens to unravel everything we think we know about the past. What if everything we've been told about the ancient past has been deliberately erased? What if the truth of lost civilizations, the great cataclysms that destroyed them, and the wisdom they held has been hidden, not by time, but by the very institutions that are supposed to preserve it? History, as we know it, is not just a collection of facts, it is a constructed narrative. Who writes this narrative? And more importantly, who controls it? Throughout the ages, the powerful and the elite have played a key role in shaping the story of the past, not necessarily to reveal the truth, but to maintain control. The knowledge of ancient civilizations and their catastrophic downfall has always been a double-edged sword. On one hand, it holds the potential to reshape our understanding of humanity's origins. On the other, it poses a threat to the established order. Consider the Vatican, one of the most powerful institutions in the world. For centuries, it has controlled access to sacred texts, ancient manuscripts, and other sources of forbidden knowledge. The Vatican Library holds countless ancient scrolls, some dating back thousands of years. Yet, despite this vast collection, many texts remain hidden from the public eye, locked away behind the church's doors. What knowledge could these texts hold? Could they reveal secrets about humanity's lost civilizations, the real history behind Egypt's pyramids, or the ancient catastrophes that reshaped the earth? And why, in a world where we have access to so much information, are these secrets still kept from us? The Library of Alexandria, too, presents a haunting example of lost knowledge. Once the greatest repository of ancient wisdom in the world, it was tragically destroyed in a series of fires, each one erasing volumes of irreplaceable texts. It's said that many of the world's greatest minds, Pythagoras, Aristotle, and even Cleopatra, once studied there. What was lost in those fires? What were the ideas, discoveries, and texts that never made it into the hands of future generations? Some historians believe that the burning of the Library of Alexandria was not just an accident, but a deliberate attempt to suppress knowledge that might challenge the power structures of the time. Throughout history, similar acts of suppression have occurred. Secret societies, often tied to the ruling elites, have long been rumored to guard knowledge that could change the course of human history. The Freemasons, the Rosicrucians, and other such groups have been linked to hidden teachings, ancient wisdom passed down from one generation to the next. But why the secrecy? Why keep knowledge locked away in the hands of a select few? Could it be that this knowledge reveals truths that the powers that be do not want the public to know? One of the most profound mysteries lies in the pyramids of Egypt. These ancient wonders, often considered the epitome of human achievement, have baffled historians and archaeologists for centuries. While the mainstream narrative suggests that they were built by the ancient Egyptians using primitive tools and simple methods, there are many who believe otherwise. Some theorists argue that the pyramids may have been the product of a much older civilization, one that possessed advanced technologies far beyond what we typically associate with ancient Egypt. Could the pyramids be evidence of a lost world, one that was destroyed by a cataclysm, leaving only these incredible structures as a reminder of what once was? The question of who benefits from hiding the truth is central to understanding this web of secrecy. If certain knowledge about the past were to be revealed, if it were shown that ancient civilizations possessed technologies, philosophies, or understanding far beyond our own, it could disrupt the very foundation of our current society. It could challenge our concept of progress, technology, and even our place in the world. Is it possible that the elites of today, much like the rulers of the past, have kept us in the dark, afraid of what would happen if the true history of humanity were uncovered? What if everything we've been taught is just a fraction of the story? What if history has been erased, not by time, but by those who seek to keep the truth hidden? These questions linger, casting a long shadow over the official narrative of history, but the answer may be closer than we think. Hidden in plain sight, in secret archives and forgotten tombs, the forbidden knowledge of the ancients may be waiting to be rediscovered. And perhaps, in time, the veil will lift, and we will learn the truth about the lost civilizations that came before us. As we peel back the layers of history, we begin to encounter tantalizing glimpses of what could have been artifacts, writings, and relics that challenge everything we know about the past. These objects, hidden away or obscured by time, have the potential to unlock the secrets of long-lost civilizations, revealing knowledge that was once common but has since been suppressed or forgotten. One of the most intriguing examples of such artifacts is the discovery of ancient tablets, often inscribed with mysterious symbols or writings that defy simple translation. These texts, often found in ruins or buried beneath centuries of dirt and dust, hint at a much deeper and more complex history than mainstream scholars are willing to acknowledge. The Sumerian tablets, for instance, contain references to gods and beings from the stars, beings that may have visited Earth in ancient times. Is it possible that these texts, hidden away for centuries, contain a truth that has been deliberately concealed? In the jungles of Central America, the ruins of ancient Mayan cities lie hidden beneath the overgrowth, their secrets waiting to be uncovered. The Maya were known for their advanced understanding of astronomy, mathematics, and time, yet much of their knowledge remains a mystery. One of the most fascinating discoveries is the Mayan codices, ancient manuscripts that were once considered sacred. These codices contain knowledge about the stars, the cycles of time, and perhaps even prophetic warnings about the future. Yet, many of these codices were destroyed by Spanish conquistadors in an effort to erase the Mayas' ancient beliefs and knowledge. What if these texts contained information about the true nature of the universe or the ancient cataclysms that wiped out previous civilizations? Similarly, artifacts found in Egypt, such as the mysterious Dendera light depicted in the Temple of Hathor, suggest a level of technological sophistication far beyond what we are taught about ancient Egypt. Some believe that this strange carving represents an ancient form of electrical lighting, a technology that predates modern electrical systems by thousands of years. Could such artifacts be evidence of a forgotten civilization, one that possessed knowledge far beyond what we currently understand? And if so, why has this knowledge been kept from us? The idea that these objects are not just relics, but keys to a lost history, is both fascinating and unsettling. As we uncover more of these hidden treasures, we begin to question why they were hidden in the first place. Who benefits from keeping this knowledge buried, and what could be the consequence of bringing it into the light? Hidden in the sands of Egypt, the jungles of Central America, and the depths of the sea, could these artifacts hold the answers to humanity's lost history? Could they be the missing pieces of a puzzle that has been deliberately scattered, buried, and concealed over centuries? The discovery of these ancient treasures may not just rewrite the history books, but could change the very foundation of our understanding of the past, revealing a world that was far more advanced and far more connected than we could ever have imagined. But as we search for these lost artifacts and texts, we are faced with a deeper question. What if the true history of humanity is not just hidden, but erased? What if these objects are not merely relics of the past, but the remnants of a civilization destroyed by forces we can't even comprehend? As the search for these lost pieces continues, we must ask ourselves, what if the answers we seek have been hidden right in front of us, waiting to be rediscovered, waiting for us to find them? Beneath the waves, where the sea meets the earth in a quiet and eternal embrace, lie secrets that could rewrite the history of our planet. For millennia, the oceans have swallowed entire worlds, leaving only fragments behind, ruins, artifacts, and cities that speak of a time when the land was alive with human civilization. The idea of submerged cities is as captivating as it is mysterious. What could be buried beneath the deep? What ancient secrets have the waves concealed, waiting to be uncovered? One of the most enigmatic submerged sites is the Yonaguni Monument off the coast of Japan. Located near the southern tip of the Ryukyu Islands, this underwater structure has confounded both scientists and enthusiasts since its discovery in the 1980 seconds. The monument, which is made of large, precisely cut stone terraces, resembles a series of steps, leading some to speculate that it is the remains of an ancient city or ceremonial site, perhaps even a civilization predating recorded history. The debate over whether it is a naturally occurring formation or a man-made structure remains unresolved. Yet the possibility that such a site exists beneath the waves raises an intriguing question. Could it be part of a long-lost civilization, swallowed by the ocean in an ancient catastrophe? Not far from Yonaguni, in the Caribbean Sea, the submerged ruins off the coast of Cuba present another tantalizing mystery. Discovered in 2001 by a team of Cuban scientists, these structures appear to be the remnants of an ancient city, complete with roads, pyramids, and even what seemed to be monuments or statues. The Cuban city, like Yonaguni, lies deep beneath the sea, far below the reach of any historical records. The mystery of how it came to be submerged is one of the most compelling questions. Was it a natural disaster, a flood, or something even more catastrophic? This discovery has stirred both excitement and skepticism in equal measure, with some suggesting it could be the remains of a civilization older than the ancient Maya or even the Egyptians. What if these ruins were once home to a thriving culture, lost in an event so catastrophic that the ocean itself claimed them, burying them for thousands of years? Perhaps the most famous submerged city in history is Atlantis, the legendary city of unimaginable wealth, power, and knowledge, which, according to ancient texts, was swallowed by the sea in a single, cataclysmic event. First described by the philosopher Plato, Atlantis has captivated imaginations for centuries. Although many consider it a myth, the concept of a lost city submerged beneath the waves resonates with the human fascination with the unknown. Could Atlantis have been real? If so, what caused its destruction? The notion of an advanced civilization disappearing in such a dramatic way raises significant questions about the fragility of human history. Could entire cities have been lost beneath the waves, hiding ancient secrets that the world has forgotten? The idea is both thrilling and chilling. Cities that were once centers of knowledge and culture, now silenced by the ocean's depths. These submerged ruins are more than just underwater curiosities. They may hold the key to understanding what came before, revealing ancient cultures that might have had technology, architecture, and knowledge that we have yet to fully grasp. And yet, as we dive deeper into these mysteries, we must ask, could these submerged cities be the remnants of an ancient civilization destroyed by a global catastrophe? The Earth has always been a dynamic, ever-changing planet, subject to forces that could erase entire landscapes in the blink of an eye. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and rising sea levels have the potential to wipe out civilizations without a trace, leaving only the faintest of reminders behind. The ocean, in all its vastness, holds these forgotten histories, guarding the secrets of the past. The mystery of these submerged cities is more than just an academic curiosity. It challenges our understanding of ancient history and suggests that there may be more to the story of human civilization than we have been taught. These cities, lost beneath the waves, are the echoes of an age we can barely comprehend. Perhaps, as we continue to explore the depths, we will uncover even more remnants of a world we thought we knew, but whose true history may be forever hidden in the ocean's depths. The idea of ancient cities lost beneath the waves is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. The story of civilizations wiped out by natural disasters is written not only in the ruins of these submerged cities, but also in the myths and legends that have been passed down through cultures across the globe. Almost every ancient civilization has a flood myth, a story of catastrophic waters rising up to wipe out humanity. From the biblical flood of Noah to the epic of Gilgamesh, these stories share a common thread: the idea that a great flood once reshaped the earth, leaving behind only a few survivors to rebuild civilization. Could these stories be based on real events? Could they be memories of a global catastrophe that affected not just one culture, but many across the world? The evidence supporting this theory is both intriguing and unsettling. While many of these flood myths have been dismissed as mere allegory, the geological record suggests that Earth has experienced several global-scale floods throughout its history, events that could have altered the planet's landscape and destroyed entire civilizations. One such event is known as the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis. Around 12,000 years ago, a sudden and dramatic cooling period known as the Younger Dryas brought about widespread environmental changes. Some researchers suggest that this cooling event was triggered by a massive comet impact, which led to widespread fires, a drop in temperatures, and a rise in sea levels. This event, if it indeed occurred as some scientists believe, could have caused global flooding, wiping out entire civilizations in its wake. If such an event did take place, could it explain the flood myths passed down by ancient cultures? Could these stories be the remnants of a real global disaster that reshaped the world? In addition to the Younger Dryas, evidence of ancient floods can be found in many parts of the world. The Black Sea flood theory, for example, suggests that the flooding of the Black Sea around 7,500 years ago was caused by rising sea levels after the last ice age. According to this theory, a sudden influx of water from the Mediterranean Sea inundated the Black Sea, creating a catastrophic event that could have been remembered as a flood in the region's myths. The story of Noah's flood, with its description of waters rising from the deep and flooding the earth, bears striking similarities to this theory. Could this ancient flooding event have been the basis for the biblical narrative? Similarly, the flood myths of the ancient Maya, the Inca, and the Hindus all tell of a time when great waters washed away the world. In the Hindu tradition, the tale of Manu and the Great Flood tells of a deluge that wiped out the sinful world, while the Maya tell of a time when the gods drowned the earth in a massive flood, only to recreate the world anew. These stories, passed down through generations, speak of a shared memory of a time when water ruled the earth. Could they be collective memories of a real, ancient flood, an event that wiped out civilizations across the globe? The connection between these ancient myths and geological evidence raises an important question. What if these stories are not just allegories, but recollections of real, ancient cataclysms? Could they have been based on the collective memory of civilizations that perished in a global flood, only for their stories to survive in the myths of their descendants? The idea of a global flood as a cataclysmic event has profound implications. If such a flood did occur, it could have been a turning point in human history, a moment when entire cultures were erased and new ones were forced to emerge from the ruins. The similarities between these flood myths, spread across cultures and continents, suggest that there may be some kernel of truth buried within them. In the end, the question we must ask is this: are the global flood myths shared by cultures across the world actually based on a real, ancient cataclysm? If so, what does that mean for our understanding of human history? And how much of our past has been erased or forgotten, hidden beneath the surface of the earth, or drowned beneath the waves of time? As we explore these ancient floods and the civilizations that may have been lost to them, we must keep in mind the possibility that the truth lies not in the pages of history books, but in the ancient stories passed down through the ages. These stories may hold the key to unlocking the mysteries of our lost past, revealing the truth of what once was and what may have been wiped away in the great floods of time. Throughout the ages, there has been a profound awareness among ancient civilizations that life, like everything else in the universe, operates in cycles. Time was not seen as linear, but as an endless loop, forever returning to the beginning. Civilizations would rise to their zenith, only to fall in a cataclysmic event that wiped the slate clean. From the ruins of destruction, new civilizations would emerge, carrying with them the echoes of the past, unknowingly stepping into the same cycle again. Many ancient cultures, including the Mayans, Egyptians, and Sumerians, held to this belief in the cyclical nature of existence. The Mayans, in particular, are often remembered for their intricate calendar, which was based not on days or years, but on the grand cycles of time. According to their beliefs, time was divided into great epochs, each one marked by significant events, births, deaths, and rebirths of civilizations. The end of one cycle, they believed, would inevitably lead to the destruction of the world as it was known. But this destruction was not a final end. It was simply the precursor to a new beginning. In fact, the end of their calendar, which some believed marked the end of the world in 2012, reflected their deeper understanding that each cycle of time was linked to a cosmic reset, an event of destruction that made way for creation. The Egyptians, too, held beliefs about cyclical time and destruction. Their ancient texts, inscribed on tombs and temples, tell of cosmic battles between gods and forces of chaos, often resulting in the collapse of entire dynasties and civilizations. One of the most prominent figures in Egyptian mythology, Ra, the sun god, was said to journey across the sky, ushering in both light and darkness. The sun's cycle was more than just a metaphor for the passage of time, it was a reflection of life, death, and rebirth. Could it be that the Egyptians, aware of the cyclical nature of time, understood that their own civilization would one day be destroyed, only to rise again under new rulers and beliefs? The Sumerians, regarded as the first known civilization, also embraced the idea of cyclical time. Their gods, who lived in the heavens, were believed to shape the fates of humanity. And yet, their own tales of creation include the constant rise and fall of cities, kingdoms, and even entire empires. Sumerian texts speak of deluges that wiped out entire civilizations, only to be followed by a rebirth of new cultures. The ancient Sumerians, it seems, understood that no civilization could endure forever without facing a great catastrophe. Their prophecies warned that the same forces of nature that created life would also bring about its destruction. It's not just the belief in cycles of time that binds these cultures, but also the prescient warnings they left behind. The prophecies of ancient civilizations were often focused on the idea that humanity's destiny was intertwined with these cosmic cycles, and that another reset, another global catastrophe, was bound to occur. The most famous example of such a prophecy is the Mayan calendar, which many believed predicted the end of the world in 2012. While this prediction turned out to be a misinterpretation of the Mayan texts, the underlying message remains compelling. These cultures were deeply aware of the fragility of their existence, and they believed that the universe, in its infinite cycles, would eventually bring about their destruction. Did ancient civilizations predict their own destruction? The evidence suggests that they not only predicted it, but that they also understood it as an inevitable part of the natural order. These prophecies, passed down through generations, were not just warnings, they were reminders of the impermanence of human civilization and the need to prepare for the eventual reset. If these civilizations knew that a cataclysmic event would one day reshape the world, could they have left behind clues to help future generations survive? It's not just that these civilizations foresaw their own end. They also believed that the knowledge of the past would survive, encoded in prophecies, sacred texts, and the memories of those who lived before. In the ancient world, prophecies were more than just stories. They were lessons, warnings to those who would listen, urging them to prepare for the coming calamity. These ancient cultures, with their deep understanding of time, may have left behind not just messages about the future, but actual blueprints for survival. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of these prophecies is not their content, but their relevance to us today. What if the lessons they imparted were meant to echo through the ages, waiting for us to discover them when the time was right? What if these ancient civilizations knew that we, too, would face a cataclysm, just as they did? Were their prophecies not just a warning for their time, but for ours as well? And if so, what should we do with this knowledge? Could we learn from their warnings and avoid the same fate? Or are we doomed to repeat their mistakes? As civilizations crumbled and their great cities were buried by time and nature, their knowledge did not vanish. It was preserved, hidden away, and passed down through secret channels, surviving in the shadows, far from the public eye. From ancient Egypt to Greece, through the sacred halls of mystery schools and the veiled teachings of secret societies, the legacy of lost civilizations has been quietly safeguarded throughout history. The mystery schools of Egypt, for example, were more than just places of education. They were the repositories of ancient knowledge, guarded by the initiates who understood the deepest mysteries of the universe. The Egyptian priesthood, with its elaborate rituals and sacred texts, was tasked with preserving the wisdom of the ancients. Much of this knowledge, including advanced mathematics, astronomy, and the secrets of life and death, was said to have been passed down from the gods themselves. But as time wore on and new dynasties rose to power, this knowledge was hidden away, accessible only to those who had been initiated into the highest ranks of society. The mystery schools of Greece, too, followed a similar tradition. The famous philosopher Pythagoras, for example, was said to have been initiated into the ancient Egyptian mysteries before returning to Greece to teach his disciples. The teachings of these schools, which combined elements of mathematics, philosophy, and metaphysics, have shaped much of Western thought. Yet, like the Egyptian knowledge before them, these teachings were often concealed, with only the initiated privy to their true meaning. Plato, one of Greece's most influential philosophers, also had access to this hidden wisdom, which he incorporated into his own works. His writings, though often seen as the foundation of Western philosophy, are said to contain hidden layers of meaning, secrets passed down through the ages that have yet to be fully uncovered. But it wasn't just ancient philosophers who had access to this forbidden knowledge. Secret societies, such as the Freemasons, have long been linked to the preservation of ancient wisdom. The Freemasons, with their intricate rituals and esoteric symbols, are thought by many to be the modern-day guardians of this lost knowledge. Through their secretive rituals and teachings, they have preserved the teachings of the ancients, passing them down through generations. But why the secrecy? Why keep this knowledge hidden from the world? The answer, some believe, lies in the idea that the knowledge of the ancients was too dangerous to be freely shared. The elites understood the power of this knowledge, and so it was concealed, passed down only to those deemed worthy of understanding it. Could secret societies be the guardians of ancient knowledge that has been deliberately hidden from the public? This idea is as captivating as it is unsettling. If the ancient wisdom of Egypt, Greece, and beyond has been preserved in secret, what does that say about the true nature of our history? What truths have been concealed, and why? Are we still being kept in the dark? Or is there a grander plan at work, one that will eventually reveal these hidden teachings to the world? The idea that ancient wisdom has been preserved, hidden in plain sight, raises as many questions as it answers. If these teachings are still with us, what can they reveal about the lost civilizations that once flourished on Earth? And, more importantly, what might they teach us about the future? Could the knowledge of the past hold the key to understanding the cataclysms that may one day come again? If the ancient world had the foresight to understand the cycles of time and the potential for global destruction, what can we learn from their warnings? And how can we prepare for the challenges that lie ahead? In the shadows of history, the legacy of ancient knowledge continues to echo, waiting to be rediscovered. Whether through secret societies, hidden texts, or the teachings of long-forgotten sages, the wisdom of the ancients remains locked away. But perhaps, in time, the truth will emerge, and with it, the key to understanding not only our past, but our future as well. As we look back at the mysteries of lost civilizations, one thought lingers in the air. Could the ancient wisdom that was once buried beneath layers of time, erased by cataclysmic events, still hold the answers to the problems we face today? What if the knowledge of the past, concealed in forgotten texts, lost cities, and ancient teachings, could offer us a way forward, a solution to the crises of the modern world? Today, more than ever, we find ourselves searching for answers beyond the boundaries of conventional science, religion, and politics. From climate change to economic instability, from the erosion of trust in governments to the rise of artificial intelligence, we are faced with challenges that seem almost insurmountable. In these times of uncertainty, many are turning to ancient knowledge for guidance, seeking solutions in the teachings of civilizations that once thrived and then disappeared. Cultures like the Egyptians, the Maya, and the Sumerians. What if these ancient people, with their deep understanding of the cosmos and the cycles of time, knew something we have forgotten? Could their wisdom offer us a new path forward, helping us to navigate the challenges of today? Ancient wisdom, once thought of as quaint or mystical, is now being re-examined by scholars, spiritual seekers, and alternative historians. The resurgence of interest in esoteric teachings, whether through the study of sacred geometry, ancient alchemy, or lost civilizations, signals a profound shift in how we view the past. These teachings, passed down through secret societies or encoded in ancient texts, may hold not just historical value but practical knowledge that could shape the future. Take, for example, the advanced mathematical knowledge of the ancient Egyptians. They understood the relationship between geometry and the natural world in ways that modern science is only beginning to comprehend. The Egyptians used sacred geometry in their architecture, their religious practices, and even their calendar systems, reflecting an understanding of the universe that was both scientific and spiritual. Today, this knowledge is being rediscovered, with modern architects and engineers looking to ancient designs for inspiration. Could the Egyptians, with their precision in aligning the pyramids to the stars, have unlocked a deeper understanding of energy, space, and time, knowledge that we are only now beginning to grasp? Similarly, the ancient Maya were masters of astronomy and timekeeping. Their calendar, which cycles through various epochs, was not just a tool for measuring time, it was a map of the cosmos, a guide for understanding the movements of the stars and planets. The Maya believed that time was cyclical, with each great cycle bringing about the rise and fall of civilizations. As we face global crises that feel increasingly cyclical, economic downturns, political instability, environmental degradation, could it be that the Maya's understanding of time offers a perspective that is both timeless and essential? What if the lessons they left behind, buried in their prophecies and writings, could guide us through the modern challenges we face? One of the most fascinating aspects of this resurgence is how these ancient teachings are beginning to influence modern political and social movements. From the growing interest in sustainable living to the rise of mindfulness and spiritual awareness, there is a palpable shift toward a more holistic view of the world. This shift is not just about personal development, it's about reimagining our relationship with the earth, with each other, and with the systems that govern our societies. Could these changes be the modern echo of ancient wisdom, an instinctive return to the practices and philosophies that once guided thriving civilizations? At the same time, the rise of alternative history and fringe theories has led to the exploration of how ancient knowledge might have influenced not only culture, but also politics and power structures. Some scholars argue that secret knowledge, passed down through ancient mystery schools, has shaped the development of Western civilization. The idea that elites throughout history have guarded this knowledge, using it to maintain power and influence, suggests that the ancient wisdom of lost civilizations was not just preserved, but actively hidden. What if the wisdom of the ancients, particularly their understanding of cosmic cycles, energy, and natural law, could help us break free from the destructive cycles of greed and exploitation that dominate modern society? The power of ancient wisdom is not confined to the realm of mysticism or historical curiosity. It offers tangible benefits for those who are willing to look beyond the surface, to explore the deeper currents of human knowledge and potential. As we face global challenges that seem beyond our control, this ancient wisdom may hold the key to unlocking a new way of thinking, one that values sustainability, interconnectedness, and respect for the natural world. Could the cataclysmic events that wiped out ancient civilizations also contain the lessons we need to avoid our own destruction? Could the knowledge that was once lost beneath the waves or buried in the sands of time still be the guiding light for humanity's future? Perhaps the most profound lesson these ancient civilizations can offer is not that they were destroyed, but that they were aware of their fragility. They knew that civilizations rise and fall, that every culture is subject to the cycles of time. Yet, through their prophecies, philosophies, and teachings, They left us clues not just about their own demise, but about how to survive the cataclysms of the future. They were not just warning us about their own end. They were warning us about the end of the cycles we have entered. Could the ancient wisdom lost in a cataclysm hold the key to solving today's global crises? If we are willing to listen, perhaps we can find answers in the ancient teachings that have survived through the ages. The wisdom of the past may not only help us understand the world that came before us, it may help us understand how to create a world that can endure. The earth we walk on is far from static. It is a dynamic, living planet, constantly changing and evolving. And yet, there are moments in its history when nature itself seems to wipe the slate clean, forcing humanity to rebuild from the ruins. These cycles of destruction and rebirth have shaped the course of life on Earth, and they may hold the key to understanding not just the past, but the future. Imagine, for a moment, a time when the world was suddenly plunged into chaos. A massive earthquake shakes the foundations of civilizations. A volcanic eruption blankets the skies with ash, blocking out the sun and plunging the world into darkness. Massive floods sweep across the land, drowning entire cities, erasing cultures in a single sweep. In such a moment, humanity faces a stark choice: adapt or perish. This is the concept of a global reset, a moment when nature itself forces the reset button on civilization. Throughout history, there have been numerous examples of such resets. One of the most significant events was the impact of an asteroid or comet that is believed to have caused the extinction of the dinosaurs around 66 million years ago. This cataclysmic event triggered the end of the Cretaceous period, resulting in the mass extinction of nearly 75% of life on Earth. The effects were immediate and devastating: wildfires, tsunamis, and a dramatic shift in climate. Yet, after the dust settled and the Earth began to recover, new species rose to dominance, paving the way for the rise of mammals and eventually human beings. But these resets are not limited to mass extinctions of the prehistoric past. Even in more recent history, the Earth has undergone dramatic transformations. The Ice Ages, for example, played a key role in shaping human evolution. During these periods of extreme cold, vast glaciers covered much of the planet, reshaping the landscape and driving human populations into new areas. In many ways, these shifts forced humanity to adapt, pushing our ancestors to find new ways to survive. It was during these tumultuous times that humans developed tools, discovered fire, and began to form complex societies. Then there are the shifting tectonic plates, the movement of the Earth's crust that has reshaped continents, causing mountain ranges to rise and oceans to form. Some scientists believe that the catastrophic eruption of supervolcanoes, such as the one at Yellowstone, has the potential to cause massive resets, flooding the atmosphere with ash, blocking sunlight, and triggering a dramatic cooling of the planet. Such an event would be devastating for life on Earth, causing widespread extinction and leaving behind a barren world in need of renewal. The cyclical nature of these events is staggering. Earth's geological history shows that mass extinctions and resets have occurred repeatedly, with new life rising from the ashes of the old. And while each reset has been different, some caused by asteroids, others by volcanic activity, some by climate change, they all share a common thread: destruction, followed by rebirth. The Earth is a constantly evolving system, shaped by forces both seen and unseen. But what does this mean for humanity? Could we be living in the midst of such a reset right now? Are we on the verge of another global catastrophe, one that will force humanity to start over once again? The signs are there, in the climate shifts we are experiencing, in the rise of natural disasters, and in the growing sense of instability that permeates much of the world. Could we, too, be living in the closing chapters of a grand cycle, one that has been playing out on Earth for millions of years? If Earth is indeed on a cycle of destruction, we must ask ourselves, how will we respond? Will we be swept away in the next great wave of change, or will we adapt, learn from the cycles of the past, and rebuild in a way that can endure? The answer to these questions may lie in the ancient civilizations that have come before us, civilizations that experienced their own resets and found ways to survive. Could their wisdom hold the key to our future survival? As we explore the patterns of destruction and rebirth, it's clear that humanity is part of a much larger story, one in which nature itself is the ultimate force of change. The question now is whether we will be able to recognize the signs of the next reset, and what lessons we can learn from the civilizations that came before us. The idea of global resets, massive, world-altering events that reshape civilizations, raises an important question. How did the civilizations that experienced these resets manage to survive? Did they have knowledge, technologies, or wisdom that helped them endure? Were some cultures able to hold on to critical knowledge, to preserve their teachings, and to survive in secret while the world around them collapsed? The survival strategies of ancient civilizations are as varied as the cultures themselves. Some may have relied on their ability to adapt to rapidly changing environments, while others may have turned to extreme measures to protect themselves from catastrophe. What is clear, however, is that many civilizations were keenly aware of the fragility of their existence. The rise and fall of cities, the collapse of empires, and the widespread destruction brought on by natural events were not new concepts to the ancient world. These events, rather than being isolated occurrences, were often seen as part of a larger cycle, one in which civilizations rise, fall, and rise again. One of the most striking survival tactics that many ancient cultures employed was the preservation of knowledge. In times of catastrophe, knowledge became as important as food and shelter. In Egypt, for example, the priesthood was responsible for safeguarding not just religious texts, but scientific and mathematical knowledge as well. These ancient sages understood that in the event of a global catastrophe, it would be critical to preserve the wisdom of the ages for future generations. Could the ancient Egyptians have hidden their most valuable knowledge in secret tombs or underground vaults, passing it down through generations of survivors? The Maya, too, were adept at preserving their wisdom. Their complex understanding of time and the cosmos was encoded in their calendars and astronomical observations. But as their world was ravaged by war, drought, and social upheaval, some believe that much of their knowledge was deliberately hidden, perhaps in underground libraries or hidden away in sacred sites, meant to be rediscovered in a time when humanity was ready to understand it. These sites, which lay hidden for centuries, might hold the keys to surviving the coming resets of our own time. Another strategy that some civilizations may have employed to survive resets was the establishment of secret societies. These societies, often shrouded in mystery, were tasked with preserving ancient wisdom and ensuring that it was passed down through the ages. The secretive nature of these groups suggests that they were fully aware of the power of knowledge, especially knowledge that could potentially disrupt the established order. The Freemasons, Rosicrucians, and other esoteric organizations are believed by some to be the modern-day descendants of these ancient protectors of knowledge. Could these secret societies be the keepers of forgotten wisdom, preserving it for a time when humanity might need it the most? The idea of survival knowledge extends beyond simple practical survival techniques. It encompasses the deep spiritual and philosophical teachings that helped civilizations understand their place in the larger cosmic order. These teachings about the cyclical nature of time, the interconnectedness of all things, and the need to adapt to the forces of nature may have helped ancient cultures not only survive physical cataclysms, but also navigate the societal upheavals that accompanied them. The idea that survivors from ancient civilizations may still walk among us is both intriguing and unsettling. Could there be people today who possess knowledge passed down from those who lived through the cataclysmic events of the past? Are there hidden teachings, encoded in ancient texts or oral traditions, that continue to shape the course of history? What if the secrets of surviving a global reset have not been lost but have instead been preserved, waiting to be rediscovered when the time is right? As we consider these ancient survival tactics, we must also ask, could the knowledge and wisdom of these civilizations influence our world today? Could their understanding of cycles, of survival, and of the fragility of human existence help us navigate the challenges we face in the modern world? And, more importantly, will we be able to recognize and apply this wisdom before the next great reset comes? The survivors of ancient civilizations may not have disappeared. Perhaps they have simply waited for the right moment to pass their knowledge down once again. In the midst of global change and uncertainty, this wisdom could be the key to our survival, a gift from the past that, if understood, could shape our future. Across the world, something is stirring, in ancient knowledge, long hidden from the public eye, is beginning to resurface. In our fast-paced, modern world, we often view the past as a relic, a closed chapter that has little relevance to our present or future. But what if the opposite is true? What if the teachings, philosophies, and wisdoms of ancient civilizations hold the answers we so desperately seek today? What if these ancient truths, once buried under the weight of time and cataclysmic events, are not only alive today but are actively influencing the world in ways we may not even realize? There is a growing revival of interest in ancient knowledge, specifically knowledge that has roots in lost civilizations. From esoteric teachings to spiritual practices that stretch back thousands of years, modern thinkers, scholars, and even secret societies are revisiting the profound wisdom of the past. This resurgence isn't just a passing trend or a romantic fascination with the distant past. It represents a shift in how we view the world, a realization that ancient cultures may have known something that we have either forgotten or have been deliberately kept from understanding. One of the most fascinating aspects of this revival is the reemergence of alternative healing methods rooted in ancient traditions. Modern society is increasingly turning to ancient practices like herbal medicine, acupuncture, and energy healing methods that have been used by cultures such as the Chinese, Egyptians, and indigenous tribes for millennia. These practices are now being integrated into mainstream medicine as people seek alternatives to conventional treatments. The resurgence of these ancient healing methods raises an important question. Could ancient civilizations have discovered ways to heal that we have yet to fully understand? Could their knowledge of the human body and its connection to the universe hold the key to unlocking new medical advancements? Beyond healing, we see the revival of spiritual practices that date back to the dawn of human civilization. In modern society, there is an increasing interest in ancient spiritual traditions, such as those practiced by the Egyptians, the Sumerians, and the Druids. Practices like meditation, sacred rituals, and the study of cosmic cycles are becoming more widespread, even finding their way into popular culture. This revival of spiritual wisdom speaks to a deeper hunger for connection to something greater than ourselves, something that transcends the material world and taps into the eternal mysteries of the universe. These ancient traditions, once suppressed or forgotten, are now resurfacing, perhaps as a guide to help humanity navigate the complexities and uncertainties of the modern world. The rise of New Age movements is another example of how ancient knowledge is being reintroduced to modern society. From sacred geometry to astrology, many New Age practices are rooted in ancient belief systems that were once considered arcane or esoteric. Today, these teachings are being adapted to fit modern sensibilities, attracting people who are searching for answers to existential questions. What if this revival isn't just a coincidence? Could it be that humanity is once again tapping into the ancient wisdom that has always been available, waiting for the right moment to be rediscovered? As we explore the revival of ancient knowledge, it becomes clear that this is not just about rediscovering old teachings. It is about unlocking hidden potentials that have been dormant for centuries. Ancient wisdom may hold the keys to solving the global crises we face today. From climate change to social unrest, from economic instability to the erosion of trust in institutions, the world seems to be on the brink of collapse. Could the ancient wisdom of lost civilizations offer a way out? Could their understanding of time, nature, and human interconnectedness provide us with the tools we need to overcome these challenges? The idea that ancient knowledge is being revived today, hidden in plain sight, raises a provocative question. What if we are only scratching the surface of what has been passed down through generations? Could these teachings hold the power to change everything, but only if we are ready to understand them? And more importantly, are we prepared to unlock these secrets? Secrets that have the potential to reshape not just our understanding of the past, but also the future. As ancient knowledge slowly resurfaces, another layer of mystery reveals itself. The presence of ancient symbols, teachings, and architecture woven into the very fabric of our modern world. These symbols, etched into stone, printed on paper, or emblazoned on buildings, have survived centuries, perhaps millennia, and continue to hold meaning today. But why are these ancient relics still with us? And what do they really represent? Are they simply historical artifacts, or do they carry a deeper message, one that has been passed down through the ages, hidden in plain sight? Take, for example, the all-seeing eye, a symbol that appears across ancient cultures, from the Egyptians to the Mayans. Today, it's most famously associated with the Eye of Providence on the Great Seal of the United States, but its origins trace back much further. In ancient Egypt, the symbol of the Eye of Horus was believed to embody divine protection and insight. Could this symbol, which appears in many cultures throughout history, represent more than just a spiritual emblem? What if it's a key to understanding a hidden layer of knowledge, an ancient understanding of the world that has been preserved in secret? Similarly, the pyramid is another iconic symbol that transcends time and culture. From the Egyptian pyramids to the step pyramids of the Maya and the ziggurats of Sumer, this shape has appeared across civilizations as a symbol of power, knowledge, and the connection between the earthly and the divine. In modern times, we see pyramids in the architecture of government buildings, corporations, and even on the back of the U.S. dollar bill. What is the significance of this shape, and why does it continue to appear in the structures that govern our world today? Could the pyramid be more than just a symbol of ancient power? It might be a sign that the teachings encoded within these ancient civilizations are still with us, subtly guiding our modern institutions. And then there are the secret societies, the Freemasons, the Rosicrucians, and the Illuminati, whose symbols are embedded in the very institutions that shape modern life. These societies are often linked to the preservation and dissemination of ancient knowledge. The use of sacred geometry, alchemical symbols, and other esoteric imagery in their rituals and architecture suggests that the hidden knowledge of the ancients has been carefully preserved, perhaps even passed down through the centuries by a select few. Is it possible that these societies hold the key to understanding how ancient wisdom continues to influence our world? The presence of ancient symbols in modern institutions and governments raises a crucial question. Are these symbols a tribute to ancient knowledge, or are they a subtle continuation of traditions meant to influence modern civilization? Some theorists argue that the use of these symbols is a deliberate attempt to maintain control, preserving ancient wisdom for a select few, while the general populace remains unaware of its true meaning. In this way, these symbols could be seen not just as artifacts, but as instruments of power tools that help guide the course of human civilization from behind the scenes. Take the example of Washington, D.C. itself, where the architecture is filled with Masonic symbolism and geometric precision. Could the design of the nation's capital be a reflection of ancient knowledge that has been embedded in the very bones of the city? The alignment of buildings, the placement of monuments, and the use of specific symbols all seem to hint at something more profound. Could the layout of the city be a coded message, an expression of the wisdom of the ancients hidden in plain sight? These symbols, whether in architecture, sacred rituals, or political emblems, carry with them the weight of centuries of hidden knowledge. They serve as a bridge between the ancient and the modern, a link to the wisdom of lost civilizations. In a world that is increasingly disconnected from the past, these symbols serve as silent reminders that we are not as far removed from ancient knowledge as we might think. Could these symbols hold the key to understanding the true power behind modern institutions and secret societies? Or do they represent something more profound? A message from the ancients, hidden in plain sight, waiting for us to unlock its meaning. What if these symbols are not just relics of the past, but subtle clues guiding us toward a deeper understanding of the world, just as they guided civilizations before us? As we begin to understand the hidden influence of ancient symbols and teachings, it becomes clear that the past is not as distant as we may have thought. The secrets of lost civilizations continue to shape our world today, even if we don't fully understand how or why. Could the next great discovery be the key to unlocking the ancient knowledge that still resides within these symbols? What if we are on the cusp of a revelation that will change everything we know about our past and our future? For centuries, humanity has been searching for the ultimate truth, an understanding of the ancient world, lost civilizations, and the events that shaped our collective history. What if, right now, we stand on the precipice of a groundbreaking discovery, one that could change everything we know about the past? The idea that the final clue, the key to unlocking the mysteries of humanity's true origins, is within our grasp, is both exhilarating and terrifying. As we look at the advances in science, technology, and archaeology, the question remains, what if we are closer than ever to finding the final key to understanding the true history of humanity and the civilizations that came before us? In recent years, new technologies have begun to revolutionize our ability to uncover the secrets of the past. Deep-sea exploration, once limited by the confines of our physical capabilities, has opened up a vast and largely unexplored world beneath the waves. Ancient cities, monuments, and relics that were once lost to time are now being revealed by underwater archaeologists who have the tools to explore regions that were once thought inaccessible. For example, the discovery of the submerged city of Dwarka off the coast of India, long considered a myth, has reignited the debate about ancient civilizations that may have been destroyed by natural cataclysms and swept beneath the ocean. What other ancient cities, hidden in the deep, await discovery? And what do they hold the secrets of an advanced society that could reshape our understanding of history? Beyond the ocean's depths, new satellite imaging and ground-penetrating radar are enabling archaeologists to detect ancient structures hidden beneath the surface of the Earth. In Egypt, for instance, the use of infrared technology has led to the discovery of hidden tombs and chambers beneath the pyramids, long thought to be fully explored. In Central America, LiDAR technology has revealed vast networks of Maya cities hidden beneath thick jungle canopies. These groundbreaking discoveries suggest that we are just beginning to scratch the surface of a hidden world, a world of knowledge and culture that has been concealed for thousands of years. Independent researchers and maverick archaeologists are also playing a key role in this search. With the rise of the internet and digital collaboration, more individuals are able to access ancient texts, decode lost languages, and bring together pieces of forgotten history. Their discoveries challenge the mainstream academic narratives and offer alternative explanations for the rise and fall of ancient civilizations. As these independent researchers work to uncover hidden knowledge, they often face opposition from traditional institutions, but their persistence and passion have led to some of the most astonishing revelations in recent history. What if the pursuit of these final clues is not merely academic, but a way for humanity to reconnect with something much deeper, a wisdom that has been lost to us for millennia? Could these discoveries not only reshape our understanding of history but offer practical wisdom for the challenges we face today? The revival of ancient knowledge may hold the answers to pressing global issues, climate change, energy crises, and societal disintegration. What if the ancient civilizations that came before us had already faced many of these same problems and, through their own knowledge and understanding, had solutions we have long forgotten? As we stand on the verge of these potential discoveries, we must ask ourselves, what would it mean for the world if the final clue, the key to understanding our past, were finally revealed? Would it change the course of history? Would it unlock the potential for a better future, or would it challenge the very structures that govern our modern world? The answers to these questions may be closer than we realize. But what would we do with this knowledge once we uncover it? What if the truth about our ancient past were revealed? How would it change the world forever? This is the question that lingers after we have considered the search for the final clue. If we are indeed on the brink of uncovering lost civilizations, forgotten technologies, and the wisdom of ancient cultures, how would society react? The impact on modern civilization, religion, science, and global politics would be nothing short of profound. But perhaps more importantly, would humanity be ready to embrace the truth? The discovery of ancient truths could challenge the foundations of modern science and history. Our understanding of human evolution, the rise of civilizations, and even the origins of religion could be rewritten. Imagine, for a moment, that we discover evidence that an advanced civilization existed long before recorded history, with technologies that rival or even surpass our own. This civilization, which might have flourished millennia ago, could hold the answers to questions we have been asking for centuries. How did life begin? What are the true origins of humanity? What is the purpose of existence? These revelations would force us to reconsider everything we know about the past. Perhaps even more dramatically, the revelation of these truths could cause a seismic shift in the global power structure. If ancient knowledge were to be revealed, knowledge that was once held by a select few, hidden from the masses, it could empower the people in ways that threaten existing hierarchies. Governments, institutions, and corporations that have built their power on control of information could face significant challenges. The ability to access forgotten knowledge might lead to a decentralization of power, shifting the balance from elite control to the collective knowledge of humanity. The revelation of the truth might prompt the world to rethink its systems of governance, its economic models, and its approach to technological development. Could the knowledge of ancient civilizations, if truly understood, help guide us toward a new era of enlightenment and sustainability? The philosophical implications of such a revelation are just as profound. If we were to learn that the cycles of civilization are not just historical but cosmic part of an ongoing, repeating process, how would that change our view of existence? What if we came to understand that humanity is not the pinnacle of evolution, but part of a larger, endless cycle that has seen countless civilizations rise and fall? This perspective would force us to confront the fragility of our own existence and reconsider how we interact with the planet, each other, and the universe. Could this awareness help us avoid the mistakes of the past, allowing us to break free from destructive cycles and create a more harmonious future? But the question remains, would humanity be ready for the truth? For centuries, we have been conditioned to view history through a specific lens, one shaped by those in power. If the true history of our civilization were revealed, it could shatter long-held beliefs and spark widespread existential questions. People may not be prepared to accept the radical shifts in understanding that such revelations would bring. It could create chaos, confusion, and fear. Yet, it could also offer the opportunity for growth, transformation, and the beginning of a new era of understanding. In the end, the question isn't just about uncovering lost knowledge, it's about how we would use it. Would we embrace the ancient wisdom to guide us through our modern crises? Or would we use it as a weapon, a tool to solidify control over others? The answers to these questions may define the future of humanity. The journey of uncovering ancient truths is far from over. In fact, it may be just beginning. But as we look to the past for answers, we must ask, how will these discoveries shape our future? And are we ready to face the truth when it finally arrives? As the dust settles and the echoes of ancient civilizations fade into the annals of history, one question remains. What if an ancient catastrophe wiped out a hidden civilization, leaving only fragments of its existence for us to uncover? Throughout this journey, we've traveled across time, uncovering secrets of lost cities, forgotten knowledge, and global disasters. We've ventured into the depths of the oceans, examined the ruins of ancient cultures, and pondered the mysteries that still haunt us. Yet, the ultimate question still lingers in the air, just out of reach, as we stand at the crossroads of history and discovery. The journey through these lost civilizations, the study of cataclysmic events, and the search for hidden knowledge may feel like a grand narrative coming to an end. But the truth is, the story has only just begun. History is far from static. Every discovery, every ancient artifact, every forgotten tale we uncover is a new thread in a tapestry that has yet to be fully revealed. What if we are only scratching the surface, with entire chapters of human history still buried beneath layers of time, waiting for the right moment to emerge? For centuries, humanity has looked to the past for answers, hoping that the remnants of ancient civilizations will provide us with the wisdom we need to navigate the present. But the deeper we dig, the more questions arise. Did an ancient catastrophe erase a hidden civilization? Could their wisdom still influence us today, waiting to be rediscovered? And what if the answers we seek are not locked away in the ruins of long-lost cities, but instead hidden within the very fabric of time itself? The search for these answers doesn't end here. Every mystery uncovered raises new questions, each revelation leading to the next untold story. In the age of modern technology, the possibilities are endless. The oceans remain vast, still holding ancient cities beneath their waves, while new archaeological methods continue to push the boundaries of what we know. Who knows what future discoveries might reveal? What if, in our lifetimes, we witness the unveiling of something so monumental that it completely alters our understanding of human history? But even as we reach for the truth, we must remember that the unknown is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. Throughout history, the greatest advancements and discoveries were made by those who dared to question the conventional wisdom, who refused to accept the world as it was presented to them. What if the next great discovery isn't just about the past, but about the future, about how we can learn from those who came before us, rise from the ashes of past catastrophes, and shape a new world? The journey doesn't end here. The mystery continues, and it's up to each of us to carry the torch forward. What if the truth is still out there, hidden just beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered? Perhaps it is not just the story of the past that we must explore, but the story of our future, one that is deeply intertwined with the ancient wisdom that has been passed down through generations, waiting for us to awaken to it. So, as we close this chapter, remember, the answers you seek may not lie in the history books, but in the questions you continue to ask. The search for hidden truths is not a journey that can be completed. It is an ongoing adventure that invites you to keep exploring, questioning, and discovering. For every answer we find, another mystery unfolds. And in the world of the unknown, there will always be more to uncover. The mysteries of the past are waiting for you. The journey continues. Keep searching, keep questioning, and stay open to the wonders that still lie hidden beneath the surface.